evening everyone. I am Dr. Priyanka Ghosh. I am teaching geography at the VIT AP School of Social Sciences and Humanities, VIT AP University, Amravati, Andhra Pradesh. Today I am going to talk about India's physical geography and its influence on people and places. Let's take a look at Spain and India. Let's see the comparison. So if you look at the population of Spain, it is having a population of more than 47 million, and India is having a population of 1.4 billion. In terms of area, India is 6 times larger than Spain. Both countries have different ethnic groups. Now if you look at India on the right hand side, you can see that it is populated by Indo-Aryan people, and 72% of India's population belong to Indo-Aryan, 25% belong to Dravidian, and remaining 3% belong to other ethnic groups. If you look at Spain, then 84.8% belong to Spanish people. Then Spain also has Romanian population and Moroccan population. Now let's take a look at the climatic characteristics of these two countries. I have selected two cities, Madrid, which is the capital of Spain, and New Delhi, capital of India. So on the right hand side, you can see that most of rainfall is happening during the summer months. As India is located in tropical region, bulk of India's rainfall happen during the summer months, which is from June to September. On the left side, you can see Madrid. You can see that precipitation or rainfall are mostly happening during the winter months. Also, Madrid is located in subtropical region, so it has a very hot summer, like 31 degrees Celsius during the summer months, and little bit cold winter. Sometimes Madrid do receive snowfall, at least 3-4 days snowfall it can receive during the winter season. Now let's move on to India's location. If you look at the latitude and longitude, then you can understand that India is located in northern hemisphere and eastern hemisphere. So 8 degree 4 minute north to 37 degree 6 minute north latitude, and 68 degree 7 minute east to 97 degree 25 minute east longitude. So there is 30 degrees latitudinal extension. Now India has vast actually north-south extension and as well as east-west extension. So if you measure like north-south extension, then we need to actually measure from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, which has a distance of 3,214 km, and it can be equivalent to the distance between Madrid and Helsinki. Then we have also a very vast east-west width from Rann of Kutch to Arunachal Pradesh. And again, it is you can compare this distance between Madrid and Warsaw. The longitudinal difference between western part of India, mostly from Saurashtra to eastern part of India, like if we go to the east like Arunachal Pradesh, then it is about 30 degrees. So because of this vast longitudinal difference, there is also 2 hours, there is 2 hours actually time difference between Saurashtra and Arunachal Pradesh. So India actually can have two, instead of just one standard time, India kind of think of having 2 standard time, because to cover this 2 hours difference between the extreme east and extreme west point. Now let's move on. You can see that India shares more than 15,000 km long land frontier with neighboring countries Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. So we are having longest border with Bangladesh and shortest border with Afghanistan. On the right hand side, you can see this table showing the length of border and percentage of total length of border. Now I would like to talk about little bit about the union territories. We are currently having 8 union territories, which are centrally administered federal territories and governed by the Union Government of India. So these are the 8 union territories: Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Chandigarh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Lakshadweep and Puducherry. And we are having 28 states, which you can see on the left side, which you can see actually on the map. here. So now let's talk about India's physical geography. So if we look at India's tectonic history, stratigraphy, that means arrangement of rocks or underlying geology, then India can be divided into 5 physiographic divisions. So Northern Mountains or the Himalayan Mountains, Northern Plains or Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra Plains, Peninsular Plateau, Coastal Plains and the Islands. Now let's take a look at this beautiful flat land, which is the Indo-Gangetic Plain. It is mostly monotonous, that means you can't see much relief variation. This vast alluvial tract is formed due to mighty rivers like Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra. So this is the largest alluvial tract of the world, extending for a length of 3,200 km from the mouth of the Indus to mouth of Ganga. So now if we look at this western part of the Indo-Gangetic Plain, you can see here the purple colored area, which is the Thar Desert. It is one of the important subtropical hot deserts in the world, and it is populated by different nomadic groups. You can see beautiful sand dunes on this photograph, and you can also see some Thar people actually who reside in this region. Mostly people are nomadic here. Now let's move on to Peninsular Plateau. So this is actually a triangle kind of triangular area, and it is between the Indo-Gangetic Plain and the 2 coastal plain lands. So it is one of the largest physiographic units of India, covering an area of 1.6 million square kilometer. The average height is 600 to 900 meter above sea level. It can go up to 1100 or 1200 meter above sea level. The general slope of the plateau is from west to east, except there is a little area which is called Narmada Tapti Rift Valley. Except the Rift Valley, most of the land actually, the slope of the land is actually west to east. So if we look at the major rivers in Peninsular Plateau like Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, they're all actually east flowing river. The highest peak of peninsular India is Anaimudi, which is located in the extreme southern part of this country. And if we look at Peninsular Plateau, you can see that it's a combination of some smaller plateaus and uplands. For example, Deccan Plateau. You can see that on the map. Chota Nagpur Plateau, Ranchi Plateau, Baghelkhand, Bundelkhand upland, etc. Now I want to show you this beautiful falls, Dasam Falls and Hudru Falls, which are part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So if you visit this area, you will see many falls like this. This actually adds to the topography of this region. The Peninsular Plateau is bounded by 2 plains, West Coastal Plain and East Coastal Plain. Again, these are depositional plains formed by the different rivers. If you look at this map on the right hand side, you can clearly understand that East Coastal Plain is actually broader than the West Coastal Plain. West is quite narrow. The last physiographic unit is the islands, and there are many islands. Some islands are located in the Bay of Bengal and some islands are actually located in Arabian Sea. So you can see that in the Bay of Bengal, the most prominent is Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and if we look at the Arabian Sea, then you can see the Lakshadweep. On the right hand side, you can see this map of Lakshadweep, and Kavaratti is the capital of Lakshadweep. Similarly, Port Blair is the capital of Andaman and Nicobar groups of islands. Now I am trying to focus my lecture towards the only one physiographic unit, which is the Himalayas or majestic Himalayas, and how it actually influences India's people and their livelihoods. So on the top right corner, you can see the map of India and showing the 4 different parallel ranges. So the Himalayas actually consist of 4 lithotectonic mountain ranges. As we travel from the south to north, we can see Shivalik or the outer Himalaya, and that is actually the lowest in terms of elevation. Then middle or lesser Himalaya, the greater Himalaya, and the trans Himalaya or the Tethys Himalaya. You can see this on the top right corner. And beyond, just below the India's map, you can see beautiful actually Himalayas and how the valleys actually look like in Himalayas. This is the Shivalik or the outer Himalaya. On the right hand side, you can see Ganga river. It is actually cutting through the Shivaliks. Shivaliks actually vary from 8 km in the east to 45 km in the west, with an average elevation of 900 to 1500 meter above sea level. So basically Shivalik is broader in the west and it narrows down in the east. Between the Shivalik and the middle Himalaya, there are some longitudinal valleys which are called dunes. One of the very famous valley in India is Dehradun, which is also a capital city of Uttarakhand. You can also see some other dunes, for example Kathmandu and Chumbi. This is beautiful actually, Dehradun Valley, an example of a dunes in India. This is Kathmandu Valley, and from Kathmandu Valley you can see many beautiful peaks, including, if the weather is nice, you can actually see Everest from the city of Kathmandu or Kathmandu Valley. Now let's take a look at the middle or lesser Himalaya, which is between actually Shivalik and the greater Himalaya, and it has an average height of 3500 to 4500 meter. Most of the peaks in this region actually goes beyond 5000 meter, and some important ranges are Pitpanchal, Dhauladhar, Mussoorie Range, Naktiba and Mahabharat Lake. Now Mahabharat Lake you can actually see in Nepal Himalaya. So this is Pitpanchal, the photograph has been taken from Jammu and Kashmir Valley. Another beautiful view of Pitpanchal range taken from Khajiyar, which is actually a very famous valley in Himachal Pradesh, and it is known as Gulmarg of Himachal because it resembles the Gulmarg valley in Jammu and Kashmir. Now let's take a look at the greater Himalaya, which is the highest actually in terms of elevation. So average elevation is 6,000, like more than 6,000 meter above sea level, and it receives very less rainfall as compared to the lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks. And this region is also having very little forest cover. There are some important passes in this region, or mountain passes, which connects important cities in the Himalayas. For example, Jojila Pass in Jammu and Kashmir, Baralacha La and Shipkila in Himachal Pradesh. The word La means actually mountain pass. If we go to Sikkim Himalaya in the eastern part of India, then there are two important mountain passes like Nathula and Jelepla. There are several important peaks in this region like Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Nanga Parbat, Nanda Devi, Annapurna, Kamet, Namcha Barwa and Badrinath. Kedarnath also actually falling in this region. So this is a beautiful Annapurna range taken from the Pokhara Valley of Nepal. Now let's take a look at the Trans Himalaya, which is actually not that high in terms of elevation. It is about 40 km wide at the eastern and western extremities, and you can see that the central part is quite broad, like 225 km. This is also called Tibetan Himalayas because most of this part lies in Tibet. Mostly it contains tethys sediments. If you look at the origin of Himalaya, Himalaya actually originated due to tectonic activities in a broad basin, broad actually sea called Tethys. So as all of us know about Mediterranean region, so Tethys is actually the today's Mediterranean region is actually it's a remnant of the Tethys Sea. So the rocks of this region contain fossils bearing marine sediments which are underlain by tertiary granite. There are some important ranges: Jaskar, Ladakh, Kailash and Karakoram. So it stretches for a distance of 1000 km in east-west direction, and average elevation of these ranges is 3000 meter above sea level. This is actually how the Ladakh range looks like in Ladakh region or Ladakh Union Territory of India. Now let's take a look at how Himalayas it has impacted people's life, how it is very important for India. So it is one of the most dominating geographic features among all the physiographic units. It has influenced India's climate because without Himalaya we won't receive the rainfall. So it intercepts actually the southeast monsoon during the summer months, and it brings heavy rainfall in the whole country. And Himalayas also kind of prevents a cold wind coming from Siberia. Like during the winter months, if we don't have Himalayas, then the very cold wind from Siberia will directly enter India. But because of the Himalaya, our temperature is maintained and it does not it does not go below actually 0 degrees Celsius, except certain areas like high mountainous areas. Himalayas also kind of it is a natural barrier, so it provides a natural defense. Since ancient times, it is you won't see many invasion actually from the northern side of India. It is also a source of rivers, because if we look at major rivers of northern India like Indus, Brahmaputra and Ganga or Ganges, all are coming from the different glaciers of Himalayas. For example, Ganga originates from the Gangotri glacier, and all these rivers bring fertile soil. Like it helped to, all these rivers actually created the Indo-Gangetic Plain, because it brings lot of sediments from the Himalayas, and over the time there was a long process, and over the time it creates this huge Indo-Gangetic Plain, which is very fertile, because every year there is flooding in this region, and it is one of the India's bread basket. So without the fertile soil in this brought down by these rivers, it would be very difficult to sustain India's population. Now I want to show you this Gangotri glacier. On the left side you can see the Gangotri glacier, which is the origin point of the Ganga river, and right hand side you can see how Gangotri has actually retreated from 1780 to 2001. So the retreat of Himalayan glacier is very common, and because of this global warming and climate change problem, most of glaciers in the Himalayas, like these are also called alpine glaciers or mountain glaciers. So most of mountain glaciers are actually melting unless we take serious steps to control India's carbon dioxide emission, and overall the scenario of the climate change in South Asia. This is going to continue, and it will have serious impact on the India's economy and overall India's people and different places. Now let's take a look at the forest, because the mountain areas are also covered by natural vegetation. So if you look at this triangle on the right hand side, you can see the Himalaya, like if we move actually in the Himalayan region from the Shivalik to the towards the permafrost area, you will see that we have subtropical broadleaf forest, we have temperate broadleaf forest, then we have coniferous forest and alpine meadow, and beyond 4000 meter or 5000 meter you can see this permanent snow cover region. So a forest is a very good resources, and Himalayas they provide very good natural vegetation. All the rivers in the Himalayas, they are they're very good sources for hydroelectricity, and India has some very beautiful dams in the mountainous area. Many cities in the Himalayas, they are, as because of the scenic beauty of the Himalayas, there are many tourist spots, very famous actually tourism and pilgrimage areas or pilgrim sites. Now just take a look at this. I want you to show this. This is actually taken from Dharamshala. I visited actually Dharamshala last year, and you can see on the top left side you can see Dhauladhar range, very prominent actually, part of actually lesser Himalaya or middle Himalaya, and beyond, just below this Dhauladhar range, you can see the Dharamshala valley, which is a very broad valley and densely populated. On the right hand side, top right corner, you can see the beautiful tea gardens, which is again outskirt of Dharamshala. I have taken this picture, and below the tea garden picture you can see Khajiyar, which is basically an alpine meadow area, and you can also see the coniferous forest, and this area is called Gulmarg of actually Himachal, and one of the very important tourist places in Dharamshala Dalhousie region in Himachal Pradesh. So these are the two dams. I was talking about hydroelectricity generation. So because of the Himalayas and all the major rivers coming, as they are actually flowing through the mountainous area, they have this we have this opportunity actually to build many beautiful many actually multi-purpose river valley project. So Bhakra Dam actually on the Satluj river, which is located in Himachal Pradesh, And on the right hand side you can see Tehri Dam on the Bhagirathi river. It is one of the tallest dams of India. So again Satluj is actually an important tributary of Indus river, and Indus is again coming from the Himalayas. So now let's take a look at this beautiful pilgrim site. So Himalayas actually has shaped India's culture and religion. So you can see this beautiful Kedarnath located in the Rudraprayag district of Garhwal region in Uttarakhand, and this temple is located in the Kedar valley, and it is only during the summer months actually you can visit this place, because during the winter the shrine is actually closed, and the Mandakini river is flowing actually through this area, through this valley. On the right hand side you can see Badrinath, which is again located along the banks of the Alakananda river in Chamoli district of Uttarakhand. Now there was a very devastating flood in Kedarnath valley during 2013, and this photograph I wanted to show you like how because of climate change issue and melting of glacier, and definitely due to population pressure, urbanization and industrialization, all these human activity, how that actually shaped India's this beautiful Himalayas region, like how we have actually altered. This is actually kind of impact of anthropogenic activity on this ecosystem. And the top photograph, you can see the Kedarnath temple. Actually, if you go back to this photograph here, this is the Kedarnath, which is this beautiful temple, and then look at this during the flood. Actually, it was totally devastated. These all photographs are showing actually a flood situation in 2013, which happened due to glacier, melting of glacier. Chorabali glacier was there, which melted, and that glacier melted water kind of added to the Mandakini river water, and it created huge flood. And on the top, bottom corner, you can see the rescue activity of the, of the state of Uttarakhand. So basically, this flood affected 2-3 different states of India, like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and again western part of Nepal, which is a neighboring country. So Nepal was also affected due to this flood. Now, again, another important shrine I would like to show you, which is Gangotri Dham, which is located at the height of 3,100 meters approximately on the Himalayan range in Uttarkashi district of Uttarakhand. On the right hand side you can see Gamuk, which is basically the origin point of the Ganga river, and you can see a little shrine actually there. Again, these are all religious places and pilgrim sites, important pilgrim sites of Himalayas. This is actually the bathing ghat near the Bhagirathi. It is on the Bhagirathi river and at Gangotri, Uttarakhand. So in conclusion, I would say that Himalayas comprise a series of several more or less parallel ranges intersected by enormous steep-sided valleys and gorges. It is most formidable topographic barriers to communications in the world. It has shaped actually people's lives and culture, and Indian people are integrated to this region since ancient times, and Himalayas it has enormous influence on India's climate, natural vegetation, agriculture and hydroelectricity production. With that note, I would like to end my lecture. If you are interested to know about India's physiographic divisions or in general India's physical regions, you can actually go through these references. It will give you more idea about different physical areas of India. And that's all from my side. Thank you, and thank you for joining and listening to me.